Sweet. Now that I've got my adventure hat on, it's time to get into some adventurous territory.
Welcome to Toon Fever, baby.
Well, okay, you guys, let me tell you my plan for this video. So I'd like to go through three musical artists that I think their approach to making music is particularly unique, inspiring, interesting, something like that. But really, it's all about their approach to it, and I just think it's pretty fascinating. So I want to share about these three artists. So we're going to start off with artist number one on our list, because that's how lists work. He's called Fear of Dark. So Fear of Dark is a YouTuber. He has this YouTube channel. It's called Fear of Dark, one word, and that's kind of his artist name. That's his the name that he goes by for all of his musical work. He puts his albums up on Bandcamp, but then he also shows the videos of his songs on YouTube. He uploads videos of it because he makes the things in some, probably like Family Tracker is the program.
A channel contains data about the sounds we're programming. Channels are organized like spreadsheets. They have horizontal rows and vertical columns. By default, each channel has 4 columns. The leftmost column contains the note to be played, followed by the instrument column, the volume column, and finally the effect column.
Basically, he makes this 8-bit music. And I really, really like listening to the songs while I'm watching the video because you can see everything that he's composed kind of fly by. It just looks insane. But the difference with him is that in a lot of video games, the 8-bit music that's being made for the video games, it is supposed to loop. That's what it's designed to do. This guy, Fear of Dark, his approach to it is more like writing an entire song. And sometimes there's some real jazz to it. And sometimes you hear these songs and you know, ooh, wow. Or like, it's that jazz stink face when you're listening to it and you get that jazz stink face, like you just ate a lemon or something. Yeah, it's great music. So it's probably pretty clear that you would want to work with the different kinds of waveforms in this style of producing music. And so I wanted to show you guys this so you can see all the different kinds of waveforms. It's very, very interesting. But yeah, I'll probably just put a bunch of links in the description for you to check some of the stuff out. Also, time to move on to our next artist. So we're on artist number 2 out of our list of 3, because after the one, he is called Author and Punisher. So that's what Author and Punisher sounds like. He basically uses all these machines that he creates, which are effectively just controllers for things like MIDI. And he uses them as instruments. It's really quite cool. And he's not only a gentleman, he's also a scholar.
I think I decided to make my own instruments initially because I was having trouble making heavier music with electronic instruments that were available.
I'm also a mechanical engineer in microfluidics and microscopy. It's using the quality of the materials to act as your instrument.
This is the National Center for Microscopy and Imaging Research. I work with physicists and biologists to come up with new ways to image cell biology. This device allows you to take a block, a 1 millimeter cube of mouse brain or whatever sample, and you slice it and then image each slice. I don't know what this sample is. It's probably some brains.
So he uses these very industrial materials to construct these instrument controllers for his synths and his MIDI and whatever. And you know, it's just super cool. It kind of puts him in this like industrial doom metal type of lane. Yeah, it's very interesting. The sound of the music kind of sounds like you're like beating the crap out of a car with like a sledgehammer.
Technically, what this does is they're controllers. You can use controllers that are basically interfaces for synthesizers or software. Software, something like Ableton Live, you can basically send it MIDI information and it'll control its synths. That's what I'm doing.
Then there's that thing on his neck. So yeah, that is a pretty creative dude, and to me his music's pretty groundbreaking stuff. So we're going to talk about artist number 3 now. We've made it to the end of the list, and 3 is the end of a list of 3, just to be completely crystal clear. This artist is called Black Puss. So this guy is actually the drummer of a band. The band is called Lightning Bolt, which is also the power-up in like Mario Kart. But the band is called Lightning Bolt, and he's the drummer and the vocalist. And in this little solo project that he calls Black Puss, what he does is he has all these sounds over by his left foot, so he can hit those sounds to go off, which would be kind of like the notes that you're hearing, the pitches and the synth and the MIDI type of things that he's controlling. He's doing that with his left foot, and then he's playing drums on top of it. And then he's got that mask over his face that I think has like a microphone in it. And so you can kind of hear him like singing, yelling or whatever. But yeah, it looks extremely fun to play with. And myself being a drummer, that's just like, let me just hop right in there and mess around. Just looks fun. So some things that I find really interesting about it in particular, well, other than like he has the worst technique of any drummer I've maybe ever seen, but you know, this dude can play stuff that is amazing. And okay, so one of the things that I really like about his music is since he's a solo act, he doesn't really have to pay too much of time or pay much attention to like keeping in time as a drummer. He can just come in sync with himself all the time. So if he ever wants to do a hit, he could just hit the thing and then hit the other thing at the same time. And it kind of sounds like a whole band coming in at the same time. And so because he's able to do that, he doesn't have to pay too much attention to like a strict structure. You know, he can kind of just feel his way around in his own music and kind of just explore and experiment and freak out and have a good time. Hits the drums pretty hard, looks like a workout, But yes, looks like a lot of fun.